Witch for a Week by Kaye Umansky and illustrated by Ashley King. This is a really fun and magical early reader, and it follows Elsie, who works in her parents' shop, until local witch Magenta Sharp whirls into town and asks her to tower sit for her for a week. And initially Elsie's not so sure, but she takes on the job and soon discovers she has a real knack for magic and befriends a whole group of strange and weird but brilliant characters. And it's really fun. Ashley's illustrations highlight the story beautifully, and I really recommend it. Shannon Hale is one of my favourite authors, and here she's teamed up with her husband Dean Hale to write the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, Squirrel Meets World. Dorian Green is a usual 14-year-old, she does usual 14-year-old things, and is having to deal with moving across the country to California, as well as having squirrel powers and a super fluffy squirrel tail. And while this is happening, she's trying to negotiate school life and making friends and not being attacked by LARPers and all the usual things that you have to deal with. But also there's an evil mastermind. That's not a word. Damn it! I was doing so well!
Keep going, keep going.
Evil supervillain also out to get you. Life can be a bit tricky. At the end of the day, we have to just find out whether Dorian will overcome everything and still be the cheerful, optimistic person that she is at the start of the book. Interspersed with Avengers characters and a lot of humour, this is a really fun read and it really cheered me up when I read it. This is What We See in the Stars, an illustrated tour of the night sky. It's a beautiful introduction to the stars and space. It's beautifully illustrated throughout and has a lovely mix of text pictures on pages. And not only does it touch on lots of constellations, but it also talks about the moon and the sun and lots of planets, which was really interesting to read about. It's perfect for dipping in and out of, as well as reading in one go, which is what I did, and is a really great way to further your knowledge if you already know things, or just introduce yourself to lots of different aspects. A Skinful of Shadows by Frances Hardinge. This is a beautiful and lyrical YA novel from the much-loved author that follows Makepeace, who has the ability to hold the souls of the dead inside of her. Her mother has always taught her to protect herself from these souls and spirits so that she can't be controlled by others, but when disaster strikes, she sets out for her father's family home and discovers that she should have taken heed to her mother's words, and she ends up in a lot of danger. There's a lot of mystery and intrigue happening in this book as civil war goes on in the background, and she doesn't know who to trust or who to turn to. In the end, Makepeace will have to summon all of her courage to solve a lot of problems and try and put a stop to all the dangers exploding around her. This is The Language of Thorns by Leigh Bardugo. It is a collection of 6 fairy tales that are based in the Grisha universe that Leigh has created before. It's 6 stories that are not for the faint-hearted. They're kind of a twist on what you'd expect from a book of fairy tales. They are all beautifully illustrated throughout, with illustrations that build up as the story progresses, and they are really stunning. They add another layer to the lyrical stories already in the collection. I would recommend this for fans of Leigh's work already, or if you love fairy tales and want to get some fresh stories, this is a really great place to start.